Welcome to I Collect, the show where I show you what I've collected. And today I have too many items. Why? Here's why. The Nintendo came out with three major designs. These were, of course, the original NES, the NES Max, and the NES Advantage. Now, for one reason or another, let's say that you're starting your retro collection and you've never really done this before. You got your Nintendo. For some reason, you can only buy one or two controllers, and you don't want to waste your money here, but you want to get the best controller for the system. So, to quote somebody, and I usually try to stay away from this, but to quote somebody who I watch a lot is James Rolfe, what's the most important concept of a video game? Well, being able to play it. And if your controller is shit, it doesn't matter how good the game is, you can't play it. So, if I have three different controllers, I need three different opinions. That way, it seems a little more balanced. And to do this, I'm gonna have to friend up again. So, hi!
Hey.
There!
No.
Oh, yeah!
No.
Yes!
Is this what you brought me here for?
That's the NES Max, son!
Okay, well, we'll just do this thing then.
Alright, well, there's only two of us. And I still have this monstrosity of a controller, this giant thing, so I'm gonna friend up again! Bam! New friend!
Where the fuck am I?
You're right here, with this controller.
Oh god, not this thing!
The thing's...
This thing is ass!
No.
Yeah.
No.
Don't hold
You-
back. Tell us how you really feel.
You play Mario Brothers with this damn thing.
Alright.
See how well you do.
To be fair here, we're going to go through each category just like normal, and we're going to talk about this one at a time, each with their own scores. So, let's go straight into design. Going to design. The first thing design, talking about the NES, the original controller. What do I have to say about this controller? First, yes, it is small. However, this is one of those controllers where, just like the very first time I ever put a PlayStation controller in my hands, it was instantly obvious how to use it. It felt comfortable, it worked, and it worked well for every single game. That is a huge deal. They nailed it with this. This is one of the best controller designs ever done, period. And it's simple. Like, you wouldn't think that it'd be that big of a deal, but come on, let's review some Nintendo real quick. This was NES, then we got the GameCube crappy controller, well, later on, but the Nintendo 64, I don't have three fucking hands. This thing is perfect, that's double plus, now it's someone else's turn.
Okay, so design for the NES Max controller. My first experience using this was to play the first Turtles game. So already I got stuck with a bad game, and Bill said, try this. I was like, okay, well, it feels...
I asked you which controller you wanted.
I said surprise me. I did not think you were going to throw this thing at me.
That's a good thing you didn't throw this thing at you.
Well, I probably wouldn't be here. Okay, so this feels cheap. I'm sorry. Compared to this controller, I feel like I'm holding something that's actually worth a damn. This thing feels like it's going to break. Okay, it's got two extra buttons, turbo. It's got what might passably be called a joystick. It doesn't bounce back to position. It sounds like a baby rattle. The D-pad is this circle around the outside of this, sorry excuse for a joystick. And these turbo buttons I didn't try to use because, look, as far as this thing goes, I'm gonna have to give it like a double negative. I hate this controller.
Damn, son.
It's garbage. Look, I wouldn't use that controller to play the best Nintendo game, much less the first Turtles game.
Yeah, I feel you on that. But what we got here is... Oh, Jesus balls, it's heavy! Ugh! This hunking monstrosity that should have just been on an arcade table and stayed there. There are too many damn buttons! Too many! I mean, you got the slow button right there. Yeah, you get rapid pause. Woo! Who cares? I mean, come on. You got the slow button. You got your start and select button. Yeah, that's kind of cool that they're there. You get a little switch because this thing, unlike all those, takes up both of your damn controller ports.
That means you only
But the upside is, you just pass the controller off to your buddy like you're playing Mario. You just go, oh, I'm player 1, you're player 2. Oh, you're up. Bip. Player 2's controlling.
I
Oh,
guess.
bip. Player 1's back.
I mean, I guess that's
You got
handy.
really huge buttons. I mean, look at this. There's your A and B buttons. Here are your A and B buttons. Basically, you just ripped out the console of a freaking arcade table and just brought it in home.
Yeah, but that was the idea behind the controller.
I know. I mean, yeah, it was a great idea. I mean, hell, the turbo buttons are right here. You press that down. You tweak the knob up here to see how fast you want it to go. Just hold the button down. So, I mean, that in its own is great if you're playing shitty games like Silver Surfer and you need a rapid tap button. But other than that, I mean, try playing Mario with that.
But there were hundreds of games that needed turbo.
Yeah, no, not really.
You ever play track and field?
All right, track and field other than that. But the problem
Without
with
the
that is
mat?
you still have to go back and forth. If you have the turbo, it doesn't work the same way. You fail a lot more.
Make it work.
we shall see. The worst part about this controller, though, is the joystick. This thing is garbage.
I would rather have joystick than.
All right. I can't say it's true garbage because that is true garbage. This is annoying as shit when you're trying to play certain games. I tried playing this on Mario. I died so many times because I'm using this.
I've got a directional circle.
Yeah, I know. You kind of got boned on that.
That thing is epic.
That thing is epically ass. But in truth, I mean, for its design, I mean, it did what it was designed to do. I mean, hell, you got 2 players on one controller anyways.
And it does emulate the arcade pretty good.
Yes, it does. So, honestly, I'll have to give it a plus. I mean, I was never a huge fan of it because it always pissed me off a bit, but it does get the job done for what it was designed to do. So I guess now we got to move over to size. And I'll go ahead and start that thing off. This thing is fucking huge. Huge! There's like almost no easy way to store this thing. You literally have to be like, alright, so wrap up that controller, and that's just going to sit on the table.
I would have just set it on top of my Nintendo back in the day when I was playing it. I mean, probably not relevant to today, but I'd have just set it on top of the Nintendo, and all I need is one. It's not like it's taking up space. It's an extra part of the console.
Unfortunately for me, when I had my Nintendo, I had a shelf this big to set
But what about the people that bought the Nintendo back when it first came out and had a Rob the Robot sitting on it? They couldn't put that in. I mean, this thing wouldn't take up half the space that does.
It's still... The fact is, you can't even hold the thing anyways.
It does have to be on a table.
You were like,
it does have to be on a table.
I mean, you can sit on your lap and do it like this, but you feel so cramped trying to do it. You literally have to have it set up on the table. And just that. So honestly, I have to give it a single negative because it's literally too bulky. I mean, look at the thing. You have to have a table for this thing to sit on. And that's a big negative.
Yeah.
Kind of small, fits your hands, reach all buttons, plus moving on.
Damn, son.
Small. You have to wrap your fingers around it to hold it right. So, this was like the bad predecessor to the GameCube controller because the GameCube controller actually functions correctly. So, negative. I'm done. Moving on to product.
Product. Okay, when we talk product, these were designed to play games on the NES. The NES, it's undebatable. It's one of the greatest systems to ever come out. It rebooted the market. It brought console gaming back into our video game freaking living rooms. Without the NES, we would not have any of the stuff that you're enjoying today. You just wouldn't. The console market was in... It was done. It was done. It was completely crashed. There was nothing out there. There were a couple stragglers, and they were dying from bankruptcy. And then the Nintendo came along and just rebooted the entire things. Super Mario Brothers, Castlevania,
Duck Hunt.
These games, no matter what you think about them by today's standards, they built the console market. And without them, there's no God of War or new Tomb Raider or Halo. It just wouldn't have happened. The Nintendo is double plus product for all three. It's undebatable. Let's move on now. We need to go to cost.
How about you tell us how much that shitty controller will cost people?
Okay, so the NES Max, if you want to buy this thing, the average price we found was about $10. I wouldn't pay used toilet paper for this controller. So, that's...
But it's easier to whip at someone and it might shatter in their face.
I don't care. This controller is not getting anything close to a positive for me on anything. $10 is $20 too much for
I don't
this
know
controller.
if you had a chance to hold this, but would you pay $10 for this?
I feel like I got it out of a McDonald's Happy Meal.
I feel like I'm playing one of those old school Tiger electronic games.
Exactly.
That's what I mean.
But without the fun. This is a $10 controller, and I wouldn't pay $20 for it. So I'm going to give a double negative to this on cost too.
Wow. Okay. Cost.
Damn, man.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I can feel the rage.
Trying to keep this moving. Here, this thing right here, I want to say...
It was like $7, I think.
eBay, it's around $7 to $8,
brand
new in a box. I got mine at a comic shop for $5 a controller. So, look, they're extremely affordable and they're well worth it. I'm going to give it another double plus because if you can't drop $5, then you shouldn't play video games anyway.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. This hulking monstrosity, in all of its glory, we looked it up. It averages for about $13 on eBay. You know,
but it's
for a lot of us,
controllers.
it's two controllers, so technically, it's pretty good. And it's got the turbo features. Granted, you gotta make sure you have a table to set it on.
For comparison, just to say so, we also looked up the Nintendo controller, and the normal Nintendo controller was somewhere around $14 to $15 to get like double packs, right?
Yep. So, in truth, this costs a little less than two of these, but you still have to have a table. But that's okay. So, honestly, for the cost, I actually have to give it a double plus. I mean, it's two controllers with turbo feature. I mean, some people play better with the joystick, especially nowadays, because that's all we play with.
And also, if somebody breaks into your home, you have a self-defense weapon.
That's true. I could probably beat someone with this. And, well, and I got a whip feature, too. Yeah, so, yeah.
Calm down, Richter. Put that down.
So, honestly, I'll have to give this a double plus, definitely, for cost. I mean, it's well worth it, especially if you got games like Track and Field, Silver Surfer, Caveman games. That actually was pretty useful on that too. But, you know, anything that really needs a turbo function, or just if you're more into like the arcade stuff, this would help you out a little bit more. So definitely double plus.
All right, now we're going to have to move on to the conclusion. All right, now we conclude these. First, design, double plus.
Double negative.
Single plus.
Next was size, plus.
Minus.
Minus.
Next was product, double plus.
Double plus.
Double plus.
Lastly was cost, double plus.
Double negative.
Double plus.
So, in conclusion, NES original controller, that's 5 out of 5.
NES Max, 0 out of 5.
NES Advantage, 4 out of 5.
This has been I Collect, where I show you what I've collected. Today, it was worth it.
This has been I Collect, where I've shown you what I've collected. And this has been worth it.
And this has been I Collect, where we show you what we've collected, and I'm sorry I showed you this piece of shit.
I have spoken. Take what you will from it.